What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk a little bit about God does not want you to live for Him just for what you can get. I think a lot of us are doing this thing where we're living for God and we're like, God, I want this, I want that, I want this. And we're expecting these things from God as if God's just going to magically make it appear right in front of us because we say, God, I want it. But what we want can be self-sabotaging. Let me tell you, if God gave you everything that you wanted, how much would you respect God? How much would you respect God if He gave you everything you wanted? Because you know, just out of just saying something, He's going to give it to you. Now you have no need to worship Him. You have no need to have faith in Him. You have no need to actually walk on your journey to get to know Him. Not saying God is withholding gifts from you or He's withholding things from you, but He's making sure that you're not putting yourself in the position that you're only here for the gifts. You got to understand that God is not just some cosmic bellboy. He's not just there to give you whatever you want whenever. No, He is much more than that. The Bible talks about in Proverbs 25:27 that do not eat too much honey, as a fool eats all the honey to glorify himself. So what that proverb is talking about is that seeking glory for oneself is going to be your downfall. It's going to end up causing you to sin more than it's going to cause you to actually produce good fruit. And your fruit's going to become bitter because you're only looking for what you can get. A lot of us are on this walk with God and we're not in it to go to see what we can give, but what can we get from it? What can I get? If you're only walking with God for what you can gain, you don't know the first thing about being a Christian. It says that Jesus came down to serve and not to be served. Why does it say that? Because Jesus loved the world so much that He wasn't only here. He did not come to condemn the world. You don't praise me? You don't this. No, because He loved you. He gave up His life. That being said, it doesn't mean that you could just live the way you want to now. You could just live to seek glory for yourself. I talked about this in another video. Pride. We want it because I want it. I want what's good for me. I want this, I want that. And what that can lead is to coveting. When you get all the honey for yourself, you start to covet. I want that. I want this. Let me get a little bit of that. Let me get a little bit of this. And now it's only for you. It's only for you. It's only what I want. It's not for how can I give it to the kingdom. It's not how can I serve the kingdom anymore. It's now what can I gain for my life. And God calls us not to be selfish, not to do things for only ourselves, but instead to love somebody more than we love ourselves at times. Why? Because we got to be able to understand we put people in that position to serve them. Why do you think God sacrificed Himself? Because He saw the value in us that we didn't see in ourselves. He saw that we had a debt that we couldn't pay. He was not there to just make us worship Him by force, but out of our own free will, because He cared about us. The problem is that oftentimes we can expect people to give us things just simply because we've done something for them, or simply we can expect people to give us what we want just because we done good, or we deserve it, or this. Because when you think you deserve something, you're probably putting yourself in the position of being prideful. You put yourself, let's say that your friend just got a promotion, and you say, I've been working twice as hard as them. Why don't I get my promotion? It's not your time yet. You're trying to force something that can't be forced. You're trying to gain something that can't be gained. At this moment, you got to be willing to give it time. Greatness takes time to manifest. You can't rush that. And you say, God, give me all that I want, all that I desire. If God were to give you all that you want, where would the relationship be? If you were in a relationship with your friend just for what you could gain from it, you wouldn't be a very good friend. If you were in a relationship with your wife or with your husband, and you're only in that relationship for what you can gain, It sounds like you need that person. It sounds like you feel like you're inclined to take what you want, but you're not willing to give anything. It's not a relationship at that point. No, it's manipulation. What can I get from you? Ultimately, we can't live like that. We got to be capable of seeing the ability to give to God more than what we can get from God. The Bible says, seek the kingdom first. The Bible also says in Galatians 5:17-21 that a person's selfish desires is set against the Spirit, and the Spirit is set against one's selfish desires. So those selfish desires to get things only for yourself is going to cause you to be disconnected from God. It's going to cause you to start being pushed away from God. No longer are you going to feel the presence of God anymore. Not that He's only a feeling, but you're not going to feel it as much as you used to. You're not going to be on fire for God as much as you used to, because guess what? You were only looking for that fire. To be on fire for God, that's all you were looking for. You say, God, I want the ability to speak. I want to be able to move a room. I want to be able to make people's mind change. I want to spark salvation. I want to save somebody. That's what's going to cause us to fall. Is that pride right there? It's going to cause us to dig a deep ditch, because the Spirit does not recognize that. He won't even hear your prayers. Why? Because he won't hear the prayers of a selfish person, a person whose only interest is themselves. What can I get? I want that glory. I want that fame. If it isn't God's will, it will be done. That fame you get, there's a lot of people who have fame who can use it for their advantage to get to give to God. But as soon as you take it for granted, that's when God says, you know what? I got to remove it. Because now it's become a problem. Now it's become something that you only desire to gain upon. Like, let's say you have a good YouTube channel. People listen to you. They say, God, give me more attention. Give me views. Give me this. Give me that. And now it's only for you. Well, I like the attention. It's not for the kingdom anymore. And God can't recognize that. He can't recognize that prayer because it's selfish. He can't recognize that prayer. He says, oh, he did it again. Another selfish prayer. I gotta give it to somebody else now. I can't dwell on this person because this person is only dwelling on themselves. So I ask you, how are you being selfish in your life? Whether it's in prayer. I think a lot of us are praying and we say, God, please, I need this car, I need this. We're not really ever praying about somebody else. We're not really ever thanking God and glorifying God. It says glorify God in all you do. Just thank God. You want something from God? That's perfectly fine. But only wanting something from God is the problem. You should be wanting to get to know God, and God will give you those things that you are wanting. You understand? You should want to need God. I don't know if that made sense, but you should want to need to know God, to get closer to God, not just want God to give you what you want. That's a lot of wants right there. I hope you understood it. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I really do hope that you guys would see the idea that to get closer to God, you need to be able to deny yourself of those selfish desires and pick up that cross alongside God. Not because you can get something out of holding that cross, but because you choose to follow the living God. God bless, and I'll see you soon.